I was 7 months pregnant when my husband's mistress destroyed my car. 20 minutes of rage caught on camera, but that wasn't the worst part. While she was spray painting baby trap horror across my windshield, while she was slashing the tires and shredding my baby's car seat, my husband was already 3 steps ahead, planning something so calculated, so evil, that when I finally discovered the truth, I realized the destroyed car was just the beginning. Because this wasn't about jealousy. It wasn't about love. It was about $890,000 in debt, a house in my name only, and a plan that involved making me think I was losing my mind. And when that didn't work fast enough, they had a backup plan for my newborn daughter that still makes my blood run cold. This is the story of how I lost everything in 72 hours and how I got it all back. Stay until the end because the courtroom confrontation will blow your mind. The security guard's voice was shaking when he called me. Ma'am, you need to get to the parking lot now. I was 7 months pregnant, just finished seeing my baby girl on the ultrasound. Her perfect little face, her tiny hands. The doctor said everything looked beautiful. I had no idea that while I was watching my daughter's heartbeat on that monitor, someone was destroying my car in the parking garage below. I waddled through the hospital corridor, one hand pressed against my lower back. Everything hurt at 7 months. My feet, my hips, my ribs where the baby kicked relentlessly. But the security guard's voice had carried something worse than urgency. Fear. He was waiting by the elevator, his face pale. I'm so sorry, Mrs. Harper, he said. We already called the police. I turned the corner and saw it. My silver Honda CR-V sat in its usual spot, or what remained of it, every window smashed into glittering fragments across the concrete. Deep gouges carved through the paint. Someone had keyed words into the hood. I stepped closer, my heart hammering. Red paint covered the windshield, thick and deliberate, like blood. All 4 tires slashed, rubber peeling away from the rims. And the baby car seat, the infant seat Derek had insisted we install 3 weeks early, was shredded. Foam and fabric torn apart with what looked like a knife. My knees buckled. The security guard caught my elbow. Careful, ma'am, let me get you a chair. I couldn't look away, couldn't process what I was seeing. Who would do this? Who hated me enough to destroy not just my car, but the seat meant for my daughter? The baby kicked hard, sharp, like she could sense my terror. We have it on camera, the guard said quietly. The whole thing. The police are on their way. I pulled out my phone. My hand shook so badly I almost dropped it. I stared at Derek's name in my contacts. My thumb hovered over the call button. I should call him, tell him what happened. He's my husband, he should know. But somewhere deep in my chest, beneath the shock and fear and disbelief, a small voice whispered the truth I'd been ignoring for months. You already know who did this. You already know why. Sirens wailed in the distance, getting closer. I sank into the chair the security guard brought. My maternity dress stretched tight across my belly. The baby kicked again, slower this time, as if she'd exhausted herself with that burst of activity. I'm sorry, I whispered to my daughter. I'm so sorry. 2 police officers emerged from the elevator. The woman was young, maybe mid-30s, with sharp eyes and dark hair pulled into a tight bun. She took one look at my swollen belly and the destroyed car, and her jaw went rigid. Ma'am, I'm Detective Sarah Morrison. This is Officer Marcus Brennan. How far along are you? 7 months. Jesus Christ. Detective Morrison turned to her partner. Who does this to a pregnant woman? Officer Brennan was already photographing the damage. The shattered windows, the slashed tires, the words carved into the hood. He crouched down to examine the baby car seat and his face hardened. They destroyed the car seat, he said. This wasn't random vandalism. This was personal. Detective Morrison pulled out a notepad. Mrs. Harper, do you have any idea who might have done this? I opened my mouth, closed it. My brain felt slow, sluggish, like moving through water. No, I whispered. Then louder. Maybe, I don't know. Take your time. The security guard approached with his tablet. Detective, I pulled the footage. You need to see this. They huddled around the screen. I couldn't see from where I sat, but I watched Detective Morrison's expression shift from professional concern to cold fury. When was this? The detective asked. 2 hours ago, right around 11:30 in the morning. 2 hours ago, when I'd been in the ultrasound room, when the technician had smiled and said everything looked perfect. When I'd felt for just a moment like maybe everything would be okay. Detective Morrison walked over and crouched in front of me. Her eyes were kind but direct. "Mrs. Harper, I'm going to show you something. It might be upsetting." She turned the tablet around. The footage was crystal clear. Timestamp 11:02 a.m. A woman walked into frame. Young, maybe mid-20s, blonde hair in a high ponytail, designer workout clothes, oversized sunglasses. She wasn't frantic, wasn't emotional. She moved with purpose, methodical, calculated. She pulled a tire iron from her expensive leather tote bag, smashed the driver's side window, then the passenger side, then the back windows. Glass exploded with each impact. The woman didn't flinch. She spray painted the windshield bright red. Then she pulled out keys and carved into the hood, leaning close, taking her time with each letter. When she finished, she pulled out her phone, adjusted her ponytail, posed next to the destroyed car, smiled, took a selfie, then another and another, different angles like she was proud of her work. My vision blurred. My heart pounded so hard I thought I might pass out. "Do you know her?" Detective Morrison asked gently. I couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. The woman on the screen turned toward the camera for just a moment. Even with the sunglasses, I knew that face, knew that smile. "That's my husband's assistant," I whispered. Then the truth crashed over me like ice water. "That's my husband's mistress." The words hung in the air. Real now, undeniable. Detective Morrison's expression didn't change, but I saw something flicker in her eyes. Understanding, recognition, maybe even sympathy. "What's her name?" Amber Kane." "And your husband's name?" "Derek Harper. He's a commercial real estate agent." My phone buzzed in my hand. A text message from Derek. "Where are you? I got a weird call from hospital security." Not, "Are you okay?" Not, "Is the baby okay?" Just confusion, inconvenience. I stared at the message, at the car, at the woman on the screen, laughing as she destroyed everything meant for my daughter. And for the first time in 3 months, my hand stopped shaking. Something cold and hard settled in my chest, something that felt like clarity. I looked at Detective Morrison. "I need to see the rest of that footage." Detective Morrison handed me the tablet. "After the selfies, there's more. You should see it." I pressed play. Amber finished taking photos, put her phone away. Then she pulled something else from her bag. A can of spray paint, different color. Bright pink, she spray painted the driver's side door in big looping letters, "Baby Trap." Then she walked around to the passenger side and wrote, "He's mine." She stepped back, surveyed her work, and laughed. I couldn't hear it, but I could see her head thrown back, shoulders shaking with amusement. Then Amber blew a kiss at the car and walked away. Casual, like she'd just finished grocery shopping. The footage ended. I sat very still. The parking garage hummed with fluorescent lights in the distant rumble of traffic. "Mrs. Harper?" Detective Morrison's voice was gentle. "Are you okay?" I looked up. "No, but I will be." I unlocked my phone and called my husband. Derek answered on the third ring. "Where are you?" His voice was tense. "Clipped. Someone destroyed my car, Derek." Silence. Too long. The kind of silence that confirmed everything I'd been afraid to admit for months. "What do you mean destroyed?" "I mean every window smashed, tires slashed, paint all over it, words carved into the hood." Another pause. I could hear him breathing, could almost see him calculating, figuring out what to say, how to manage this. "Jesus, Elena, that's terrible. It was probably just random vandalism. Some kids with nothing better to do. Don't worry, insurance will cover it." I saw the security footage, Derek. The silence stretched longer this time. It was Amber. I heard him inhale sharply, then nothing. 5 seconds, 10, 15. "Who told you about Amber?" Not, "There is no Amber." Not, "You're mistaken." Not, "What are you talking about?" Just, "Who told you?" Confirmation. Admission. The truth I'd been desperately hoping wasn't true. "The security camera told me about Amber," I said. My voice sounded strange to my own ears. Calm, detached, like I was describing something happening to someone else. She spent 20 minutes destroying my car. Then she took selfies with it. Then she spray painted that you're hers. Elena, I can explain. I'm at the hospital parking garage with two police officers. They want to talk to you. Detective Sarah Morrison and Officer Marcus Brennan. Police, Elena, you can't press charges. This is just a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding, I laughed. The sound surprised me. Sharp, bitter, not like me at all. She destroyed the car seat, Derek. The car seat for our daughter. I'll be right there. No, go home. I'll meet you there after I'm done with the police. Elena, I hung up. Detective Morrison was watching me carefully. Are you sure you want to go home? We can arrange for you to stay somewhere else tonight. I'm sure I need to talk to him, face to face. 2 hours later, I stood in my kitchen, phone in hand. Derek was upstairs. I could hear him moving around, making calls, his voice low and urgent. My best friend Jenna had driven me home from the police station. She'd wanted to stay, but I needed to do this alone. I unlocked Derek's laptop. I knew his password. Our anniversary, May 15th, 2021. The password didn't work. I tried the baby's due date, January 23rd. The screen unlocked. I opened his messages, scrolled to A with the heart emoji, 18,432 messages. My hands were steady as I started reading. Amber, when are you leaving her? Derek, after the baby's born, need to secure the house first. Amber, she's so boring, I can't believe you touch her. Derek, it's a means to an end, baby. Once she signs the quitclaim deed, we're set. I kept scrolling. Each message was a knife between my ribs. Amber, what if she doesn't sign? Derek, she will. I've been making her doubt herself for months. Next week, I'm finding evidence she's been spending money we don't have. She'll think she's losing her mind. The phone slipped from my hands, clattered on the counter, making me doubt myself. On purpose. For months. All those times I'd questioned my memory. All those times he'd said, that didn't happen, or you're being paranoid, or pregnancy hormones are making you irrational. It wasn't the pregnancy, it wasn't me going crazy, it was him, deliberately, systematically, making me think I was losing my mind. I picked up the phone with shaking hands and kept reading. They'd started the affair in January, before I got pregnant. We'd conceived in February, Valentine's Day weekend. Derek had taken me to that bed and breakfast in the Berkshires, made love to me with what I'd thought was genuine passion, told me he couldn't wait to start our family. He'd been cheating on me when we conceived our daughter. The messages went on, detailed plans. How they'd get me to sign over the house. How Amber would move in after the divorce. How they'd give the baby up for adoption because kids are a drag. My daughter, my Grace. They were planning to give her away like she was a nothing. The baby kicked, hard, like she knew. I heard Derek's footsteps on the stairs. He found me in the kitchen, his phone in my hands, tears streaming down my face. Elena, I can explain. How long? My voice was ice. He ran his hands through his hair, a gesture I used to find endearing. Now it just looked like what it was, manipulation, a way to appear vulnerable and overwhelmed. It's not what you think. You've been so focused on the pregnancy and I felt neglected, lonely. She was just there. How long, Derek? Since the Christmas party. January. I did the math. January. I'd gotten pregnant in February. Valentine's Day weekend specifically. You were sleeping with her when we got pregnant. It didn't mean anything. It was just physical. Get out. Elena, we need to talk about this. Get out of the nursery. I need to be alone. He left. I heard his footsteps heavy on the stairs. Angry. Like I was the one being unreasonable. I sat in the rocking chair. The one my grandmother had used. The one that would hold 3 generations of women in this family. I looked around the room I'd created with such care. The soft rug, the blackout curtains, the bookshelf already filled with children's books. I'd been building a nest while my husband built a lie. My phone buzzed, a text from Jenna. Just heard from Detective Morrison. Are you okay? I'm coming over. I didn't respond. I stood up and walked to the kitchen, started reorganizing the cabinets, taking out each dish, wiping it down, putting it back in a different spot. This I could control. This made sense. When Jenna arrived 20 minutes later, she found me surrounded by dishes, reorganizing everything with mechanical precision. Honey, she took the mug from my hands and set it on the counter. Stop cleaning and look at me. I looked at her. Jenna's eyes were wet. Did you know? No, Elena, I swear to God I had no idea. If I'd known, I would have told you immediately. I believed her. Jenna had been my friend since nursing school, had been there through everything, would never lie to me. Everyone else probably did, I said quietly. Everyone always knows except the wife. Jenna pulled me into a hug, careful of my belly. What are you going to do? I don't know yet, but I'm not staying here tonight. I packed a bag, clothes, toiletries, important documents. Jenna helped me carry everything to her car. As we drove away, I looked back once. Derek stood in the window, phone pressed to his ear, watching us go. I turned away and didn't look back again. 3 days later, I sat in my lawyer's office, staring at a retainer agreement. $5,000 I didn't have. Jonathan Graves was the best divorce attorney in the state, according to Jenna's research. Mid-40s, sharp suit, sharper mind. I can't afford this, I said quietly. Do you have any assets? Property? Savings? The house. My grandmother left it to me. It's worth about $380,000, free and clear. Jonathan's expression shifted. That's separate property, inheritance. Your husband has no legal claim to it. He wants me to sign it over to him. I saw the messages. He's been planning this for months. Then we need to move fast. File for divorce immediately. Get an injunction preventing him from accessing the property. Do you feel safe going home? I'm staying with my friend. Good. Let me be clear, Mrs. Harper. Your husband is running a con. The affair, the gaslighting, the pressure to sign documents. This is financial abuse. We can fight this. I signed the retainer agreement. Jenna had already offered to loan me the money. That afternoon, I did something I'd never done before. I fought back publicly. I posted the security footage on TikTok. All 30 minutes of it. Amber methodically destroying my car. Posing for selfies, spray painting her messages. I included screenshots of some of the text messages. Not all, just enough to show the affair, the manipulation. I captioned it. This is what happens when you trust the wrong people. 7 months pregnant, and my husband's mistress destroyed my car while I was getting an ultrasound. Here's the proof. I pressed post and waited. Within 2 hours, the video had 50,000 views. By that evening, 500,000. By the next morning, 2.1 million views. The comments flooded in. OMG, the mistress is insane. Elena, we're with you. This is why I have trust issues. Get a lawyer now. Make them both pay. Local news outlets picked it up. Mistress vandalizes pregnant nurse's car, caught on camera. National outlets followed. Shocking video shows calculated attack on pregnant woman. Amber's employer, a boutique marketing firm, fired her within 24 hours. Derek called crying. I'm so sorry. I'll go to therapy. I'll do anything. Please, Elena, please give me another chance. I blocked his number. Detective Morrison called with an update. Amber Kane has been arrested and charged with criminal mischief in the first degree and aggravated harassment. Given the circumstances, you being pregnant, the baby seat destruction, the DA is taking this very seriously. Good. For 48 hours, I felt powerful, in control, like I was finally winning. Jenna brought over wine, sparkling cider for me, and we toasted to justice. I can't believe you did it, Jenna said. You went full scorched earth. She destroyed my car, posted about it online. I just showed people the truth. Derek's been calling me, begging me to convince you to talk to him. What did you say? I told him to go to hell. We laughed. For the first time in months, I felt like maybe I could breathe again. I slept soundly that night. No nightmares, no anxiety, just deep, peaceful sleep. Then, at 8 a.m. on the third day, my lawyer called. Elena, we have a problem. Derek's suing you for defamation and intentional infliction of emotional distress. $250,000. My stomach dropped. What? His lawyer claims you posted private messages without consent, that you've ruined Amber's reputation and caused her to lose her job. They're also arguing that your video constitutes revenge porn under state law. Revenge porn? It's security footage. I know, it's a stretch. But here's the real problem. Derek filed for emergency custody this morning. He's claiming you're emotionally unstable, that posting those videos shows poor judgment and vindictive behavior. He's arguing you're not fit to parent. The room spun. He can't do that. He can, and he did. He needs. We have a hearing tomorrow morning. Elena, I need you to listen carefully. Take down the video now. Don't post anything else. Don't talk to anyone except me and Detective Morrison. But everyone saw what she did, and now they're going to see what you did in response. Derek's lawyer is good. He's going to paint you as an unstable, vengeful woman who uses social media to destroy people. We need to be strategic. I took down the video, but it was too late. It had been shared thousands of times. Screenshots everywhere. The damage, for better or worse, was done. The custody hearing was a nightmare. Derek's lawyer presented evidence of my instability. Bank statements showing I'd overspent by $3,000 in the last 2 months. Transactions I didn't recognize. My doctor's notes mentioning that I'd reported memory issues and paranoia during appointments because Derek had accompanied me and spoken to the doctor privately. Text messages from my own phone to Amber, threatening her with violence, messages I'd never sent. Derek had my phone password. He'd sent them himself. The judge was a stern woman in her 60s. She listened to everything, then looked at me with something that might have been pity. Given the evidence of Mrs. Harper's erratic behavior and the stress of late pregnancy, I'm ordering a psychiatric evaluation. If she fails to pass, I'll grant Mr. Harper emergency custody when the baby is born. Your Honor, Jonathan tried to object. Furthermore, the judge continued, Mrs. Harper's restraining order against Miss Kane is denied. Miss Kane's restraining order against Mrs. Harper is approved. Mrs. Harper is not to come within 500 feet of Miss Kane. I couldn't breathe, couldn't process what was happening. Amber lived 2 blocks from Jenna's apartment. As I left the courthouse, someone threw a drink at me. Liar, leave that poor girl alone. The TikTok narrative had shifted overnight. Crazy pregnant lady weaponizes social media. Is Elena Harper the real villain? My hospital called that afternoon. Elena, we're placing you on administrative leave pending investigation into your social media conduct. It's a liability issue. In 72 hours, I'd lost everything. My reputation, my job, and potentially my baby. That night, I lay awake on Jenna's couch, feeling Grace kick inside me, and realized Derek had been 3 steps ahead the entire time. He'd wanted me to post that video, wanted me to look vindictive and unstable, and I'd walked right into his trap. I woke up at 3 a.m. to a sharp pain low in my belly, then another, and another. Jenna, my voice came out strangled. Something's wrong. She was up in seconds, car keys already in hand. We made it to the ER in 12 minutes. The doctor examined me, her face grim. You're having stress-induced contractions. At 32 weeks, if we can't stop them, your baby could be born dangerously premature. They admitted me, IV fluids, medication to stop the contractions, monitors strapped to my belly tracking Grace's heartbeat. Thump, 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 fast and steady. My daughter fighting to stay inside where she'd be safe. The contractions slowed but didn't stop completely. Every 20 minutes, my uterus would tighten and the monitors would beep. We need you on bed rest, the doctor said. Minimum 48 hours, possibly longer. The stress you're under is literally threatening your pregnancy. I lay in the hospital bed, staring at the ceiling, while my body tried to expel my daughter 2 months too early. Derek showed up that afternoon with flowers. White roses, my favorite. The nurses thought he was so caring. I heard what happened, Shay said, voice dripping with false concern. I'm so worried about you, about our baby. When the nurses left, his expression changed. This is your fault, he hissed. All this stress you've created. If something happens to Grace, it's on you. I tried to speak, but no words came out. Sign the house over, drop the divorce, or I'll make sure you lose her. The courts will give custody to the stable parent. That's me, Elena, not the woman who had to be hospitalized because she can't handle her emotions. He left the flowers on the bedside table and walked out. I stared at those white roses and felt something inside me break. Or maybe it was the opposite. Maybe something hardened, crystallized. I picked up my phone and called Jonathan. He threatened me, in the hospital, while I'm at risk of premature labor. Did anyone hear him? No, but then he said, she said, Elena, I need to be honest with you. We're not winning. Your viral video backfired. The psych eval is scheduled for Monday. If you don't pass, I know, he gets grace. After Jonathan hung up, I lay in the dark, listening to my daughter's heartbeat on the monitor. Thump, 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 strong, steady, fighting. I won't let him take you, I whispered. I promise. But I had no idea how to keep that promise. That's when Patricia walked in. She was my hospital roommate, in for a routine procedure. 58 years old, gray hair, sharp eyes that missed nothing. We chatted earlier about nothing important. But now, seeing me cry in the dark, she pulled her chair close. Honey, I've seen that look before. You're in trouble. I didn't mean to tell her everything, but once I started, I couldn't stop. The affair, the destroyed car, the viral video, the custody battle, Derek's threats. Patricia listened without interrupting. When I finished, she was quiet for a long moment. Your house, she finally said. What's it worth? About $380,000. My grandmother left it to me. And your husband's job? Commercial real estate agent. Patricia pulled out her phone and made a call. Tommy, it's Patricia. I need you to run a financial check on someone. Derek Harper, commercial real estate. Yeah, I'll wait. She covered the phone. I'm a retired private investigator. Still have some friends who owe me favors. 5 minutes later, her expression changed. Jesus Christ, Tommy, you're sure? Okay, send me everything. She hung up and looked at me. Your husband isn't just a real estate agent. He's $890,000 in debt from failed property flips. Creditors are circling. He's about to lose everything. My mouth went dry. What? The only asset he can access is your house, but it's in your name only. Inheritance is separate property. So he can't touch it unless I sign it over. Or unless he gets power of attorney, which he could get if you're declared mentally unfit. The room tilted. This whole thing, the pregnancy, the gaslighting, everything, he just wants my house. Not just wants, needs. Without it, he goes bankrupt, probably loses his license. That's why the affair started before you got pregnant. That's why he pushed so hard for the baby. He needed you locked in, committed, unwilling to leave. I thought about all those months of feeling crazy, of questioning my memory, of Derek being patient and understanding while he methodically destroyed my sense of reality. It had all been calculated, planned, a con from the very beginning. We can catch him, Patricia said. Get him on record admitting it, but we need to be smart, strategic. How? She smiled. It wasn't nice. We make him think he's winning. Then we record everything. For the first time in days, I felt something that might have been hope. Patricia's plan was simple. I would agree to sign over the house. We'd set up a meeting at Derek's lawyer's office. Patricia's investigator friends would plant recording devices. We'd get Derek and Amber on tape admitting everything. Once we have the confession, Patricia explained, we take it to the DA. Fraud, conspiracy, financial abuse. The custody case falls apart. It took 2 days to set up. 2 days of me pretending to be defeated. Broken. I called Derek from the hospital. You win. I'll sign. Just let me keep the baby. His voice was thick with false sympathy. Well, of course, sweetheart. I never wanted to hurt you. I just want what's best for our family. The meeting was scheduled for 2 p.m. on Friday at his lawyer's office. Patricia was discharged from the hospital the day before. She gave me a burner phone. Call me if anything goes wrong, anything. Thursday night, I was released from the hospital. The contractions had stopped. Grace's heartbeat was strong, but I was still on bed rest until my due date. Jenna drove me to her apartment. Neither of us spoke. We both knew what was riding on tomorrow. Friday arrived gray and cold. I dressed carefully, maternity jeans, a soft sweater. I wanted to look vulnerable, defeated, like someone who'd been beaten down. It wasn't hard. That's how I felt. The lawyer's office was downtown. Sleek, expensive, everything Derek aspired to be. Patricia's team had been there at 6 a.m., planting devices in the conference room, tiny cameras hidden in the smoke detectors, audio recorders in the light fixtures. Derek was already there when I arrived. So was Amber. Seeing them together made my stomach turn. Derek in his expensive suit, Amber in designer clothes, her blonde hair perfect, her smile smug. The lawyer, an older man named Richard Stone, had documents spread across the table. Quitclaim deed, power of attorney, post-nuptial agreement. If everyone's ready, Stone said, we can begin. I sat down slowly, one hand on my belly. Grace was kicking. She'd been restless all morning. Derek reached across the table. Elena, I know this has been hard, but this is the right thing for all of us. I looked at him, really looked at him. This man I'd loved, this stranger who'd spent months systematically destroying me. If I sign, I said quietly, you'll drop the custody fight? Absolutely. We both just want what's best for Grace. He used her name, our daughter's name, like he cared, like she was more than a pawn in his real estate scheme. I picked up the pen. Before I sign, I want to know, did you ever love me? Or was it always about the house? Derek's expression flickered with impatience. Elena, don't be dramatic. Just tell me the truth. Was any of it real? He glanced at his lawyer, at Amber, then back at me. Does it matter? You're signing either way. Amber laughed, actually laughed. Oh my God, just sign already. Some of us have dinner reservations. I pressed harder. So the pregnancy, you planned it to trap me? Derek's mask slipped. Trap you? You think you're the victim? You were living in a $400,000 house on a nurse's salary. I made you feel special. You should thank me. Amber's smile faltered. Wait, he told me the baby was an accident, that you baby-trapped him. Derek turned on her. Shut up, Amber. No, you shut up. I'm not raising some desperate nurse's kid. We agreed, adoption after you get the house. The words hit me like a physical blow. Adoption. They were going to give Grace away, but before I could process it, the lawyer's assistant appeared in the doorway. Mr. Stone, there's a problem with the conference room security system. I think there might be cameras. Stone's face went white. He started searching, found one device in the smoke detector within 30 seconds. Someone planted surveillance equipment. He turned to me, fury in his eyes. Did you do this? Security arrived, found 2 more cameras, the audio recorders. Derek's lawyer was already on his phone. This is illegal recording. Any evidence obtained is inadmissible. I'm calling the police. Miss Harper could be charged with wiretapping. Derek stood, his face twisted with rage. Nice try, Elena, but you just committed a felony. Security escorted me out. Patricia was waiting in the parking lot, her face stricken. I'm sorry, I thought, it's okay. But it wasn't. We'd failed, and now I was in even more trouble. The psych eval was Monday. 3 days away, I had nothing. No evidence, no plan, no way to stop Derek from taking everything. That night, I sat on Jenna's couch and Googled how to give up parental rights. Maybe Grace would be better off. Maybe I couldn't protect her. Maybe Derek was right. I was unstable, vindictive, unfit to be a mother. Jenna found me crying at 2 a.m. Don't you dare, she said fiercely. Don't you dare give up. But I didn't know how to keep fighting. Monday morning arrived too fast. Dr. Harrison's office was sterile. White walls, no windows, a desk with nothing personal on it. He was 50s, gray hair, expression like he'd heard every lie 1,000 times. Mrs. Harper, thank you for coming. I understand you're here for a court-ordered evaluation. I nodded, hands folded over my 8-month belly. Let's start with some basic questions. How have you been feeling emotionally? Stressed, scared. My husband is trying to take my baby. He wrote something down. Your husband provided some context. He says you've been making threats? What? No, I never. Dr. Harrison slid papers across the desk. Text messages from my phone number to Amber. I'll kill you if you don't stay away from him. You'll regret ruining my life. Watch your back, bitch. My hands shook. I didn't send those. Derek has my phone password. He sent them himself to frame me, Dr. Harrison wrote. Patient exhibits paranoid delusions, blames others for her own actions. I'm not paranoid. He's been gaslighting me for months, making me think I'm crazy so he can... Do you often feel that people are conspiring against you? It's not a feeling. It's what's happening. The questions got worse. Each answer I gave was twisted, reframed, used as evidence of instability. Have you had thoughts of hurting yourself or the baby? No, never. But you're under significant stress that could endanger the pregnancy. Isn't that a form of self-harm? By the end, I was crying, which only made me look worse. Dr. Harrison's final assessment. I'm recommending immediate hospitalization for prenatal psychiatric care. No, I'm not going. Mrs. Harper, you're exhibiting signs of antepartum psychosis. For the baby's safety, I can have you committed involuntarily on a 72-hour hold. 2 orderlies appeared at the door. You can come voluntarily or they can compel you, your choice. I went voluntarily. What choice did I have? The psychiatric ward was exactly what nightmares are made of. Locked doors, screaming patients, fluorescent lights that never turned off. I was 8 months pregnant, trapped in a psych ward, separated from everyone I knew. Jenna tried to visit. Family only, they told her. Derek visited on day 2. He sat beside my bed, speaking softly so the nurses would think he was caring. Sign the papers. This all goes away. I want my lawyer. Jonathan dropped you. Too expensive. That $5,000 retainer only bought 10 hours. He was lying. He had to be lying. But I had no way to check. They tried to give me medication to calm the baby's stress levels. I refused. Got marked as non-compliant. Grace's movement slowed. I panicked. Begged for an ultrasound. They said it was normal but wouldn't check. On the 3rd night, another patient sat with me in the bathroom while I cried. Beth was 19, genuinely schizophrenic, but having a lucid moment. You don't belong here, she said. Crazy people don't wonder if they're crazy. They won't let me out. Your husband's paying for private care. I heard the nurses. He can keep you 30 days before you get a hearing. 30 days. My due date was in 3 weeks. He was going to keep me locked up until I gave birth. Then take Grace while I was still committed. I had one phone call. I used it to call Jenna. Call the state medical board. Report Dr. Harrison for accepting bribes. Then call Channel 7 News. Elena, what? Just trust me. Please. 2 days later, the news broke. Local nurse held against will, psychiatric kidnapping allegations. The reporter interviewed Jenna outside the hospital. She had proof. Derek's $15,000 payment to Dr. Harrison's consultation fee. Public outcry forced the hospital to release me, but the damage was done. The judge moved up the custody hearing. We'll determine custody immediately after birth. I was 38 weeks pregnant, homeless. Derek had changed the locks on our house legally since I'd been hospitalized for mental health. No job, $47 in my checking account, and in 2 weeks or less, I'd give birth to Grace. Then Derek would take her. I'd lost before I'd even begun. At 4 a.m. on a Tuesday, my water broke. Contractions started immediately. Hard, fast, like Grace had been waiting for her moment. Jenna rushed me to the hospital. I was admitted at 4:30. By 5 a.m., I was dilated to 5 centimeters. This baby's coming fast, the nurse said. First babies usually take their time, but not this one. Someone called Derek, hospital protocol. He was still listed as my emergency contact. He arrived at 6 a.m. with his lawyer. They tried to get a court order for immediate custody upon birth, right there, while I was in labor. I signed papers between contractions, trying to block him. My signature barely legible. At 7:30, alarms started blaring. Baby's heart rate is dropping, the doctor said. We need an emergency C-section. Now. They were wheeling me towards surgery. I grabbed Jenna's hand. Don't let them take her. Promise me. I promise. Derek was shouting something about giving consent. The doctor needed someone to approve the surgery. I'm the father, I consent. They rushed me into the operating room. Everything was bright lights and cold metal and people moving fast. The anesthesiologist put a mask over my face. Count backward from 10. 10, 9, 8. I woke up groggy, confused. My abdomen hurt. Surgical pain. A nurse was there. Your baby's in NICU, just for observation. She's beautiful. Where is she? Your husband took her to get checked. But Jenna appeared in the doorway, her face devastated. He took her to a different hospital, got an emergency order. Unstable mother, immediate danger. Elena, he has her. No, no. I tried to get up. Stitches pulled, pain exploded. Alarm started beeping. Security held me down. The doctor sedated me for my own safety. When I woke again, 6 hours had passed. Jenna was crying. Derek took Grace to his lawyer's office. The judge granted him emergency custody. You have supervised visitation only. 2 hours twice a week. I couldn't even hold my own daughter without a social worker watching. My body had just been cut open to bring her into the world, and she was gone. I lay in that hospital bed, arms empty, breasts leaking milk for a baby I couldn't feed, and understood what true despair felt like. Derek had won. Completely. Totally. I had nothing left to fight with. But then at 8 p.m. there was a knock on my hospital room door. A woman I'd never seen before walked in. 50s, elegant, blonde hair going gray. Elena Harper? My name is Caroline Kane. I'm Amber's mother. I stared at her. Why are you calling me? Caroline sat down, her hands shaking. Because my daughter is a liar. And you're about to lose everything to a con artist. And I can't let that happen anymore. Caroline pulled a manila envelope from her purse. Amber's done this before, she said without preamble. Twice, both times to pregnant women. My brain felt slow from the medication. What? She targets married men with assets, plays mistress, convinces them to leave their wives, then drains their money and moves on. Caroline's voice cracked. She's a sociopath. I've tried to get her help, but she refuses. She spread documents across my hospital bed. Police report from Dallas, Texas. Amber Kane, age 19. Harassment charges against a pregnant neighbor. Charges dropped after Caroline paid a settlement. Police report from San Diego, California. Amber Kane, age 22. Vandalism of her ex-boss's wife's car while the wife was pregnant. Charges dropped. Another settlement. Why are you telling me this now? Caroline's eyes filled with tears. Because last week Amber told me about the plan, about giving the baby up for adoption after Derek gets your house, about getting rid of it. She looked at me. That's my limit. I won't let her hurt a child. But she's your daughter. She's my daughter and I love her, sure, but I won't enable her to harm an innocent baby. Caroline pulled out more papers. I'm giving you everything. Bank records showing Derek paid her $47,000 over 8 months. Text messages from Amber's cloud backup. Police reports. Medical records showing she was hospitalized for threatening another pregnant woman. I stared at the evidence. Months of planning, proof of the everything we needed. There's more. Caroline's voice dropped. The messages between Derek and Amber about what happens after the baby's born. She handed me her phone. Amber to Derek. Once the baby's born, we give it 3 months max. CPS will take it if she's unstable enough. Derek. What if they don't? Amber. Then we do what I did in Dallas. Make it look like an accident. The words didn't make sense at first. Then they did. They were going to kill her. Yes, Caroline was crying now. Not adoption. Murder. Make it look like sides. Blame your instability. Derek would get sympathy, the house, and the $500,000 life insurance policy he took out on Grace last month. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't process. My daughter. They were planning to murder my daughter. Something inside me didn't break. It hardened, crystallized into diamond. How do we use this? Caroline smiled through her tears. Emergency custody hearing. Tomorrow. I already filed it. The hearing was at 9 a.m. I was still recovering from surgery, barely able to walk, but I got dressed. Jenna helped me into the wheelchair. We arrived at the courthouse to find Derek, Amber, and their expensive lawyers looking confident. Then Caroline stood up. Your Honor, my name is Caroline Kane. I'm Amber Kane's mother, and I have evidence this court needs to see. The courtroom gasped. Amber went white. Mother, what are you doing? The judge leaned forward. I'll allow it. Caroline presented everything, police reports, financial records, text messages, the bribery of Dr. Harrison, the life insurance policy on Grace, the message about making it look like an accident. Derek's lawyer tried to object. The judge shut him down. Derek stood. Your Honor, those messages are out of context. Sit down, Mr. Harper. Amber started screaming. He made me do it. He said we'd be together. He promised. Shut up, Amber. They turned on each other in real time, each trying to blame the other, each producing evidence against the other. Derek's lawyer quit mid-hearing, walked out. The judge's face was stone. I'm granting emergency custody to the mother, effective immediately. Mr. Harper, you will surrender the child to Mrs. Harper within 1 hour. Furthermore, I'm referring this matter to the district attorney for criminal investigation. Conspiracy to commit fraud, possibly conspiracy to commit murder. Derek was ashen. You can't. Bailiff, take Mr. Harper into custody pending bail hearing. They handcuffed him right there, led him away. Amber was still screaming as security removed her. 1 hour later, a social worker brought Grace to me, 6 days old, dark hair, Derek's nose, my eyes. I held her against my chest and felt her heartbeat sync with mine. Hi, baby girl, I whispered. I'm your mama, and I'm never letting you go. The trials were fast. Derek pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit fraud, bribery of a medical professional, and attempted theft. 4 years in prison, no parole eligibility for 3 years. Amber took a deal. 3 years for conspiracy, harassment, and vandalism. The DA had wanted to add attempted murder to the charges, but without more concrete evidence, they settled for what would stick. Dr. Harrison lost his medical license permanently. 2 years probation. His practice dissolved within weeks. 17 other patients came forward with complaints of biased evaluations. 17 other women he tried to institutionalize for husbands willing to pay. Derek's assets were seized to pay his debts, including the money he'd hidden in offshore accounts, including the $47,000 he'd paid Amber, including everything. My house remained mine, fully, no claim against it. The courts ruled it separate property, untouchable by his creditors. I went back to work when Grace was 2 months old. The hospital welcomed me back with an apology and a promotion. Pediatric ICU, better hours for a single mom, better pay, and an official commendation for Grace under extreme personal circumstances. Jenna moved in officially, co-parent, best friend, Grace's godmother. We converted the guest room into her bedroom. On hard nights, when the nightmares came, she'd sit with me until dawn. Caroline visited every week. She and Amber were estranged, completely cut off after the trial. But Caroline had become grandma to Grace. She'd sold her house and moved 20 minutes away. I failed my daughter, she told me once, tears streaming. But maybe I can do better with my granddaughter. She's not really your granddaughter, I'd said gently. She is in every way that matters, if you'll let me. I let her. Patricia came by monthly, the retired private investigator who'd saved everything. She brought gifts for Grace and war stories from her past cases. You're one of the good ones, she'd say, the ones who survive and come back stronger. I can always spot them. I had full custody. Derek had supervised visitation rights, which he used exactly twice before stopping. The first time he held Grace for 6 minutes before asking the social worker to take her back. She cries too much, he complained. She'd been 3 months old. Babies cry. The second visit, he spent the entire hour on his phone, barely looking at her. After that, the visit stopped. Work was too busy. He'd reschedule. He never did. Grace didn't need him anyway. She had me. She had Jenna. She had Caroline. She had Patricia. She had a family that loved her. But the scars remained. I jumped at car alarms, had nightmares about losing Grace, couldn't imagine dating or trusting anyone again. The thought of letting a man into our life made my skin crawl. Therapy helped, medication helped, time helped, but some wounds don't fully heal. They just become part of who you are. part of your story, part of what makes you stronger. 3 months after the trial, I did something I'd been avoiding. I drove to the prison. Derek was waiting in the visitor's room, orange jumpsuit, thinner than I remembered, dark circles under his eyes. He saw me and Grace, and his face did something complicated. Hope, regret, calculation. I couldn't tell anymore. Didn't want to. Elena, you came. His voice cracked. I wasn't sure you would. I sat down, Grace on my lap. She was 4 months old now, starting to smile, starting to recognize faces. I'm not here for you, I said. I'm here for me, to see you in that jumpsuit, to know it's real. His face hardened. You got what you wanted. You happy now? No, I'm not happy. I'm recovering. There's a difference. I made mistake. You tried to steal my house. You tried to steal my baby. You paid a psychiatrist to have me institutionalized. You planned to murder our daughter for insurance money. Each word came out sharp, clean. Those aren't mistakes, Derek. That's evil. He flinched. I came to tell you something, I continued. Grace will know her father is in prison. When she's old enough, I'll tell her the truth. Not to hurt her, but because she deserves to know that sometimes the people who should protect us are the ones we need protection from. You can't poison her against me. I don't need to. Your actions did that. I stood up. You'll be out in 3 years if you're lucky, maybe 4. Grace will be 5 years old enough to remember if you try to be in her life, old enough to be hurt if you disappear again. What are you saying? I'm saying choose now. Be her father or don't. But you don't get to drift in and out when it's convenient. You don't get to hurt her the way you hurt me. I walked out. He called after me. Elena, wait. I didn't wait. That night, Grace slept in my arms, and I felt something shift, something settle. He was really gone, really locked away, really unable to hurt us anymore. For the first time in a year, I slept through the night. Grace's first birthday party was small, just family and close friends. She wore a pink dress and a tiny crown and smashed her hands into birthday cake with pure joy. Derek didn't come. He sent a card with a check for $200. I deposited the check into Grace's college fund and threw away the card. That evening, after everyone left, I rocked Grace to sleep in the nursery, the one in my house, the one I'd almost lost. Someday I'll tell you this story, I whispered, not to scare you, but to teach you something I wish I'd known earlier. Grace made a small sound and settled deeper into sleep. I'll teach you that being kind doesn't mean being quiet. Being loving doesn't mean being passive. I'll teach you that your worth isn't measured by who wants you. It's measured by who you are when you're alone. I kissed her forehead. And sweetheart, when it's just you and me, I'm exactly who I'm supposed to be. The next morning, I did something I'd been planning for weeks. I drove to the hospital parking garage, the exact spot where everything began, where Amber destroyed my car 15 months ago, where I first saw the truth. I parked my new car, a blue Toyota Highlander, bigger and safer, in the same spot. Grace sat in her car seat in the back, playing with her stuffed elephant. I took a photo, me smiling in the driver's seat, Grace visible in the mirror, the parking space number clearly visible, B17. I posted it on social media with a simple caption, same spot, different woman, stronger now. Within an hour, the comments flooded in. You're an inspiration. This made me cry. I needed to see this today. But one comment stood out, from a woman named Sarah. I'm sitting in my car right now, working up the courage to leave. Your story gave me hope. Thank you. I messaged her privately, gave her my lawyer's number, Detective Morrison's contact, the domestic violence hotline, everything I wished I'd had earlier. Then I started a Google document, listed every resource I'd used, every person who'd helped, every legal step I'd taken. That document became a guide. That guide became a website. That website became something bigger. 6 months later, I stood in a community center facing 40 women. My name is Elena Harper, I said. 18 months ago, I was 7 months pregnant when my husband's mistress destroyed my car. But that was just the beginning. I told them everything. The gaslighting, the financial abuse, the psych ward, the custody battle, the evidence that saved me. Here's what I learned, what I said. Document everything. Trust your instincts. Financial abuse is real. You're not crazy and you can survive. I shared the legal strategies, the safety plans, the resource lists, everything. After the presentation, women lined up to talk to me. One by one, they shared their stories. Stories that sounded terrifyingly like mine. A woman named Jennifer, whose husband convinced her she had early onset dementia. She was 32. A woman named Michelle, whose boyfriend took out credit cards in her name. $60,000 in debt she didn't know about. A woman named Patricia, different Patricia, not my friend, whose husband tried to have her committed during her pregnancy. Just like me. I gave each of them resources, phone numbers, lawyer referrals, hope. That night I came home to find Grace toddling toward me, arms outstretched. Mama! She was walking now, running really, fearless, determined. Jenna was making dinner. Caroline was setting the table. Patricia was reading on the couch. This was my family, chosen, earned, real. The next day I took Grace to the park. She was 15 months old now, walking confidently, laughing constantly. Another pregnant woman sat on the bench next to me. How old? She asked. 15 months? And the father? I paused. Not in the picture. I'm sorry. I watched Grace chase ducks with fearless determination. I'm not. The woman looked at me closer. Can I ask you something? You look familiar. Did you have that custody case, the one on the news? Yeah, that was me. Her eyes filled with tears. Your story helped me leave my husband. He was doing the same thing, making me think I was crazy. Your case made me realize it's a pattern. I thought I was the only one. I felt something shift in my chest. The public humiliation, the viral video, all of it. It had meant something after all. You're not alone, I told her, and you're going to be okay. It gets better. Not perfect, but better. Do you ever regret it, going public? I thought about the mockery, the job suspension, the psychiatric ward, almost losing Grace. Then I thought about the 40 women at the community center, the hundreds of messages from strangers saying, you saved my life. The women who left because they saw someone else survive first. No, I said, I don't regret it. Grace called Mama, and I went to her. That night, as I put her to bed, I thought about everything we'd survived. Derek was in prison, 6 months into his 4-year sentence. He'd sent 3 emails through the prison system asking to video call with Grace. I'd declined all 3. Amber was serving her time in a different facility. Caroline had visited her once. Amber refused to see her. Dr. Harrison was working as a grocery store manager, his medical career over, his reputation destroyed. The house was mine. The debt was gone. Grace was healthy. We were safe. I opened my laptop and checked the website I'd created. Survive and Thrive. Resources for women escaping financial abuse. 473 women had used the resource guide this month. 32 had sent thank you messages. 7 had sent photos of their children, safe now because they had found the courage to leave. I'd wanted a husband and father for my daughter. Instead, I got something better. I got myself back. I got my power back. I got my voice back. And I was using that voice to help others find theirs. Derek had wanted my house. Instead, he got a prison cell. Amber had wanted my life. Instead, she got a criminal record. I'd wanted a family. I got one. Just not the one I'd imagined. Better. The scars remained. The nightmares still came sometimes. The fear of trusting anyone romantically might never fully fade. But I'd survived. Grace was safe. We had a home. We had family. We had purpose. And that was enough, more than enough. If you're watching this and seeing yourself in my story, here's what I need you to know. Document everything. Screenshots, bank statements, text messages, medical records, everything. Trust your gut. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Your instincts are protecting you. Financial abuse is real. It's not just physical violence. Controlling money is controlling your life. You're not crazy. If someone is making you question your reality, that's gaslighting. It's abuse. It's intentional. Get support before you need it. Lawyer, therapist. Friends who believe you. Build your team now. Your children need a safe parent, not a married one. Staying for the kids in an abusive relationship that teaches them that abuse is love. You deserve better. Say it out loud. Write it down. You deserve safety, respect, truth. Your kids deserve better. They deserve to see you strong, free, whole, and you can survive. I did. Hundreds of women I've met did. You can too. This isn't just my story. It's happening right now to someone you know. Maybe to you, if you're being gaslit, manipulated, or controlled, you deserve better, and you can survive. National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-79-972-33. You are not alone. And to everyone listening, if this story gave you chills, hit that like button. If you've ever been gaslit or manipulated, drop a comment. You're not alone, and this community has your back. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe because I post real stories like this every week. Stories that remind us we're stronger than we think. Remember, same spot, different woman, stronger now. That could be you.